Okay, have the editor add the music in here. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, this isn't edited. Yeah. No, we don't play this. We find live stream. Hours of boring silence, punctuated by brief barks of self-indulgent pontification. I welcome you all, and thank you for joining me this Sunday here at my altar on the drafting board for today's sermon. Well, as always, we begin with the erasures. So I haven't had a very productive week. So anyone who saw last week's live stream will get a chance to see how the Dino storyline ends. Again, erasing the bane of my existence. Every once in a while, you notice where you forgot to do a line, and you sneak it, you cheat it in with a marker. Real cartoonists don't use markers. Add joke there. So what the cat boss is doing is a little power play of dinner. I have prepared stimulating conversation. I want this evening to go perfect. Dino, you start. You look handsome tonight. I think that's my line. No, that's his line. You say, yes, he does look good, handsome, ferocious, and virile. Well, he's gone through great expense for this evening. I mean, he built this restaurant. He loaned them the car. He's gotten them dinner, obviously. He's hired a script writer. All right, let's put that sucker aside and oops, don't want to drop that there because that shakes the camera. No, I don't just brush the eraser crumb on the floor. I move a trash barrel over here.
But whatever you do, don't pan down to the floor.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we have one that I've just done the light pencil lines for. And let's see, the camera's again's not picking it up. There we go. You can just about see the light pencil lines. Let's work with this light, see if this is any better. Yeah, well, you got a little light and you get to look at that halo right over there. So to remind you that this is Sunday and God is watching. Mitsubishi. Bet you didn't know they made pencils. All right. Today we'll wear the black gloves to reflect my black heart. So as I explained last week, you start with a rough pencil drawing and then you get in there with a nice sharp pencil. Usually I use a black wing for this, but I'm out of black wings at the moment. Thus Mitsubishi has the job. Anyway, you get in there with a sharp pencil and you sort of refine the lines. In the past, I have just gone straight to inking from here, but you'll notice the artwork in the past has been pretty rough. By spending a little bit more time refining your work, you actually make a better drawing. And this hand is turned in Felicia's butt. We'll thicken out her legs a little bit. Cat's paw. Tail is the most expressive thing on a cat. Well, it's here because she's turned and looked back. She's heading in this direction. I'll read this to you when I finish the penciling, but anyone who has the ability to actually read can cut out the middleman. So it's another relaxing Sunday morning here. The sun is shining brightly, thus I have to close the blinds to keep that nasty stuff out of here.
You need the beautiful, warming, loving sun.
Yeah. How am I going to maintain this pallor if the sun's going to keep on shining like that? So Phydeaux was just sort of nonchalantly leaning on his golf club. Why they give him a putter? I was going to say I'll never know, but you give him a putter so that he can cause havoc in the cartoon.
Has he ever played?
No. Oh, anyone out there, please rename your pet, whether dog or cat, Phydeaux, so that when you call him out in the public, you advertise the strip.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just hit like and subscribe on YouTube.
Okay, please don't.
And hit the little bell icon so that when I do little things like this, you'll be alerted. And you'll actually show up down there on the comments. And you can write and type stuff like how much you love the comic strip and how wonderful Vicky is.
That's okay. I don't need the praise.
Be sure to color in the mouth black because otherwise Vicky will put a tongue in there.
I don't put a tongue in there. I color when there is a tongue. Because tongues are not white.
Actually, I only got 6. Well, wondering whether to change that into a splayed hand, but I'll just do the pointer hand. I have to think about the performance of the actors. No, Felicia's not gaining weight. That's just the fur. She hasn't gotten rid of her winter coat yet. And while Felicia's talking, Phydeaux's looking at his golf club and choking up on the grip. Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen here.
Well, don't
I hope I'm not telegraphing the joke.
ruin it. Make sure everybody needs dogs can find out.
Oh, the suspense must be killing you all out there. Since you really can't read what's happening in the end here. I even make the golf club the right size. Let's see, it goes from there to there. Wow, yeah, just by happenstance. I think that's a little thick. Okay, watch the camera shake. Let me grab a pencil. Yeah, Mitsubishi makes wonderful pencils, but they've forgotten to add an eraser. But professional pencils don't use erasers. They don't make mistakes. Professionals who use pens. Speaking of mistakes, I forgot to put Phydeaux's, oh, great, a smudge. Forgot to put Phydeaux's paw choking up on the golf club down here. Doop, doop, doop. Now, this drawer is going to need a little bit of work. I have to go at it with a sharp pencil. Now, let's draw Felicia's nose. Well, I want to draw her nose parallel to the ground. So, doom, doom. And the cheek. Flattened. The eyes. 22-degree angle askew. And either X's in it in the. Now I'll just do they're closed. And she's kind of shocked, so the eyebrows are up. This ear does that, where the golf club caught her right behind the ear. And we'll just do a little bing, bing, bing. And I wonder if I made the golf club right. Actually, these characters are smaller, so the golf club probably should be smaller, but let's see what I do. Yeah, the golf club is small, but it should be. The camera is pulled out. These characters are a little bit smaller. Rest of her head, and that ear.
People are going to think you might have drugged me or very quiet this morning.
You have nothing to say.
I guess not.
Yeah. Well, you only got up a little while ago.
That is true.
Actually, let's make it look better if the tail. She was smashed over the head, the tail flipped and wrapped around her. As is common when you hit a cat in the head.
Not that you would know.
So I hear. So I hear. And a little smile on Phydeaux's face. Job well done. Toe, toe, toe. Haunches. And it goes over there. And finally, panel 4. Let's sharpen up a bit. And he's surprised a little bit. Surprised yet, see the ears are turned down. So surprised yet a little scared. It's a jump scare. Let's put the golf club in there. And let's see, Felicia's nose parallel, snout. Ding, ding. Is that YouTube finally telling you that we're doing a live stream? A little late, aren't they?
Yes, exactly. That's it. And how does one get their phone to announce when Phydeaux doing your live stream?
I think you have to hit like and subscribe and notifications, but I'm not sure if the notifications will go to your phone, will it? Well, I suppose if you have notifications turned on. Yeah, on your phone.
It's probably things we should learn.
What, like editing? So, here's the strip. Phydeaux and Felicia. Phydeaux says, so I hear that cats have 9 lives. I've only got 6. I had a rough kittenhood. And he smacks her over the head with the golf club. And then Felicia appears behind him. Okay, 5 lives now, but I'll remind you that dogs only have 1. On the sort of Kenny from South Park maneuver here. Felicia's nearly immortal. Okay, here's another one that I've already done the rough pencil for, but this one has the border already done. I guess we can do another cleanup pencil. It's a big 1 panel. I had drawing. Wanted to draw the characters really big on the comic strip to make it all the more difficult for the wife to color. Phydeaux doesn't have much to do in this strip, but well, he is the star, so he's got to appear. He's got to appear. Plus, I had this empty space on the far left side of the panel for him to fill up. I feel no need to fill the long silences with noise. And people might say, wow, it's awfully quiet and relaxing when you do the comic strip, Charles. But no, actually, I usually have the TV on in the background. But I still mumble to myself like I'm doing now.
It's okay as long as you don't answer yourself.
I so often have the characters' heads going into the word balloons. It's actually a shock that I obey the edge of the panel here. Why don't I just break his head above the panel? Break the wall, as it were. They're both wearing T-shirts, and maybe both should be wearing one of the Phydeaux T-shirts that we should be merchandising. If you don't hate me because I'm awesome, it's your fault. Sure. Turn the strip this way just so I can have my wrist relax while I'm making that movement. Draw the beverage of indeterminate specifications. Let's see, they must be wealthy New Englanders. They drink their beverage out of a bottle and not a can, as may be seen in more rural comic strips. I think with most microbreweries, they just serve their product in a bottle. It's only recently that even Sam Adams has decided to use a can, where Jim Koch said for so many years, never will Sam be sold in a can. With the multitude of problems with bottles, cans actually not a bad idea. I would think that aluminum would be too valuable to waste on a can. Used to be such a valuable metal, they capped the Washington Monument with it, thinking it'd be a precious metal. Yes, I'm a storehouse of useless knowledge.
or intelligence. You can call it either or.
Well, in high school, I did trivia, thing called Challenge Cup, sort of like Jeopardy. Schools competing. Oh, my brain is so much larger than yours competition. We went undefeated for so many years because we had the Larry Bird of Challenge Cup, Tamara Belmonte, on our team. Easily score 50 points a game. I started up toward the end of her reign, as it were, and brought us down to where our school belonged. I did not exactly distinguish myself with my smats.
Smart.
Interesting note Tamara and I once dated. Wrong in my throat. Well, let's see if we can do the t-shirt. Phydeaux torso, leg, head disappears around the bend here. Arm that way. I guess hate me. Don't disappears there. And I guess all you'll see is awesome. All right, let's see if we can refine that a little bit. That'd be the paw. This is my habit. I have never traced down anyone in my past because I really don't care to see anyone from my past. I just look for the future. So I don't know where Mr. Belmonte is these days. I assume somewhere in the medical career, medical field. All right, and let's get Felicia. Sort of sitting here looking pretty nonplussed. Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. It's become a cat hate strip. Just the way those jokes seem to have worked out. And we have an old joke here where this is at the shrine to Felicia's god, which is, of course, herself. Cats were once worshipped, as many of you already know, in ancient Egypt, and they haven't forgotten that.
The face that launched the message.
not many people know this, but it was Helen's cat that started this whole Trojan War. Really, Charles? How did that occur?
I thought you were just going to continue the story. That's why I didn't feel the need to say that. Really, Charles? How did that occur?
Stay tuned to great moments in Phydeaux history, where I will recant that story. Yes, the Trojan War, as told from Phydeaux and Felicia's point of view. I think that that storyline's coming out probably not till this autumn. All right, the shrine to Felicia's god. She has to have prayer beads around it, votive candles lit at all times, and usually my signature goes right here, but we toss that on the floor, right there, where it belongs, because you can't have it covering up for God. That's what they call a visual joke. All right. This one I'll read to you. There's this lady I know who has a cat for a pet, and she doesn't hate it. Let's toss that one aside. And I guess we can move on to inking. You get to see the conclusion of last week's dino date. Now, when inking, I use a number 8 round brush. Now, would you use that brush, or would you use that brush with that sharp point? Now they both have sharp points. Yeah. I do wear down brushes pretty effectively. Let me see what's next in line. Okay, that requires an inking. That requires. Let me go do the border one. Show that this sucker has time to dry by the time I finish the inking. Once you get a brush loaded up with enough ink, you can use it all day just about. Now this is above frame, but I guess you can guess what's happening. What did I tell you about inking up a brush once and using it all day? Got a lot of distance out of that. Yes, we stick slavishly to the 4-panel format, unless we use 1 panel or 3.
It's not broke. Don't fix it.
It suits the joke writing style. 3 panels, you have to get in and out too quickly. 4, you can do a setup and a burn. All right. Let's put out of shot to dry. Up here on the magnet. You stay. Well, let's do the balloons in this one. Let the balloons dry, then come back and finish the background. After I do the balloons, I'll read this sucker to you. This is the conclusion of the date. Actually, let me read to you now because this might require some discussion amongst the crowd. This is Monday. I had to carry it. We wanted to get it all done in 1 week, but I had to do the establishment joke where where Dino actually asked me out, or doesn't ask her out, but you know. Well, anyway, cat boss. Time for my goodnight kiss. Well, I'll just be in the car. Where do you think you're going, Dino? And he lays a big kiss on Dino. Now, is the cat boss gay? I don't know. Who cares? That's irrelevant. I think since I created him, I will say he is asexual. That has nothing whatsoever to do with anything. Who cares? Should be the correct response to that. He's just evil. And yes, he could kiss Mia, but where's the fun in that? She comes from North Korea. And country, you know, she's conditioned to being victimized by a little evil twat. No fun there. So this is just the cat boss. This is just the cat boss being evil. And I had to put a little bit of thought here into this third panel because I guess the genesis was in Dino's tie sticking out at the bottom of his vest. Would the cat boss jump up to Dino? No, he's got to bring him down to his level. Ripping out the tie, the buttons are flying, and a big wet smoochy kiss. I forgot to do his tail, which of course is snaking up oh so seductively. Oh, and also, let's see, can I do, let me, just to make sure I don't smear his tail, I've got to do this arrow. All right, let's put this sucker aside to dry. We can return to it and finish it. This one, I guess I can, actually, I probably should do the balloons in this one. Because, well, the heads are seriously, at least in the second panel here, the head seriously invades the balloon airspace. And it's a pretty busy background. The balloons are blocking out a lot of the background characters, saving the wife the effort of having to color them. This is a rather busy background, which she's probably going to spend hours and hours on. Or any professional colorist would just monochrome it all and
professional colorist. Would also cost you a lot of money.
So this is just one of those day in the life strips. Few things going on at the same time, but the message of it is how unpleasant movie theaters were and still are. Which is why, at least in my neighborhood, just about every one of them gone out of business.
True.
I actually don't know where I would go if I wanted to see a film or
Boston
or a movie, opposed to a stilly. All right, let's read this one for the crowd, for the hell of it. We have Bogash, Jane, and Phydeaux and Felicia. Haven't been in the theater in a while, Jane says. It would be nice to see a movie the way it's supposed to be seen again. Okay, settle down now. We're in public. The floor is sticky. Pauses. I've got to go to the bathroom. As if you can pause a film. He's used to pausing the TV. Sort of got them fighting in the background, dropping their drinks, making a mess. Causing woe in public. But remember, if you have a pet, please do name them Phydeaux. When you yell at them in public, you help me out. Use all the advertising I could get. All right, let's do the inking on the characters here. I suppose I could just start and just do all the backgrounds and all of this and all of that and all. But I generally do the characters first, let them dry and return, and then I'll do the curves in the backgrounds, and then finally do the straight lines in the backgrounds, because straight lines require me to touch everything with a ruler and do a maximum amount of smearing. I like to wait until the ink dries. Since smears on the characters will be noticed most of all, there'll be a couple days dry before I even touch them. Can't really see, but I think I got a little hair. A little hair sticking out on the brush. My brush is losing its hair.
Oh no.
I'll dip it into Rogaine in between uses. And yes, he's eating a yummy cake. Chief colorist, what color are yummy cakes?
Yellow.
They're chocolate filled with caramel. How did it get yellow?
They're yellow.
What color is chocolate in the colorist's world?
Yellow.
Oh, okay.
I believe when you first described them, you said that they were like a cake.
Yeah, like a ring ding.
a light yellow cake.
If the people at Hostess are listening, take a ring ding and don't fill it with that crappy white cream. Fill it with caramel. Salted caramel. And do something about that plastic like chocolate that you got covering the external part of the cake.
So basically you're saying don't make a ring. Okay, don't make it with the chocolate, don't make it with that ring.
But we can use the molds for the circular
The
cake.
molds.
And however it is that you inject the filling. Just improve the filling and improve the...
Cake and chocolate.
Well, the cake is... okay. Yes. Yeah, it's pretty standard around the world. It's just the chocolate covering that needs work. Are they still in business? Didn't they go out of business in Natick?
I think so.
Yeah. Makers of Twinkie.
Yeah, but then they're still Twinkies, so I don't know.
Yeah, someone else licensed them and made them smaller and more expensive.
Go make Twinkies.
Was it Zombieland where they dispelled the myth that a Twinkie would survive the apocalypse? No, those things have expiration dates. Turn this again. I'm going to do an arch. I like to rest my hand on something for improved stability. And there's the remote control. Now, dogs were bred for thousands of years by humans to be pretty awesome. So don't hate him because he's awesome. It's man's fault. I oftentimes don't mind in the, let's see if I can get this close to the camera, when the brush breaks up. It makes that sloppy looking line because it looks like it's been done on by a brush. I go over that one more time, I can get that line perfect. But I want to leave it looking like that. Why use a brush if you're not going to brag about it?
That's what I would say.
And most cartoonists just use these markers, or worse yet, a computer. Blasphemy. And don't think you're going to be able to use like an iPad. Not enough room for a comic strip. Got to get a big Wacom tablet, hooked up to your computer, hooked up to at least a Macintosh. I'll do this on a Wacom tablet the day I buy all that editing software that I've been planning on doing. We actually should consider investing in a better camera because this one's got exposure problems. So you always got to remember, draw your fingers. See, pinkies are smaller than ring fingers, which are smaller than middle fingers, which are bigger than index fingers. I learned that one when I was a kid. Yes, anatomy was one of the things that we had to learn in art school. It completely destroyed my ability to watch porn. Well, you sit there and you look at a naked woman for 8 hours a day, it becomes work. I always tried to tell jokes and make her laugh or smile. Just so, in the drawing, I could get a little smile on her face.
Library?
No, the nude model in art school.
Oh, sorry. I got lost in something. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no.
If you met me.
Nope, not talking about you.
Okay.
And as long as I wasn't disrupting the class, the professor didn't care. I imagine when Leonardo da Vinci sitting there trying to crack up the Mona Lisa. Because his jokes weren't very good back then. Can't get a smile out of the bitch. And let's the nonplussed Felicia. I got too much ink on the brush, and I'd like to try to. I'm never happy with how I get the nose. Boom. Like how the eyebrow is floating above her head a bit. It's like the expression cannot be contained on that one face. the absolute nonplussed expression. She couldn't care less. After all, cats are pretty shameless. And let's not forget her god. Oh, actually, this is something I never put in the rough pencils, but it's very important. Cat whiskers. Alicia has 3 on this side and 4 on this side. Bet that's a little detail you never noticed. Why does she have 3 whiskers on one side, 4 on the other? Well, as I explained in the other strip today, she had a rough kittenhood.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
It's surprising she's so well adjusted. Like how the tail is sort of sticking up here like a big middle finger. Prayer beads. And I can do that with the ruler later on. But we'll do the votive candles now for the hell of it. All right, smoker's cough out of the way. Let's put that sucker up there. And all right, that one's done. We can go back to this one and do the lettering. If the panels are dried, they should be, but just in case they're not, let's put a shield up there. I used to have trouble doing S's with a brush. Fruit fly. So, question, why wouldn't I put the number 9 in here instead of spelling out the word?
Are you talking about in the script?
Yeah,
Because you always spell it out when it's being said.
okay. Don't mix. Depends whether I have room.
Well, my journalism background says when it's being said, you always
That's good enough reason.
spell it out.
That's a good enough reason for me. Yeah. Whatever she just said. That's why. We have the AP style book here, and we follow it slavishly.
We try to.
Now we're going to pause in a few seconds for a punctuation check. I only got 6. I had a rough childhood. Period, comma, or a semicolon?
Period.
Yeah. 2 different sentences, 2 distinct sentences.
Yeah.
I think I could have gotten away with semicolon because I've only got 6 because I've had a rough check. I could have got away with semicolon.
Could have, but
But no one knows what a semicolon is, and it gets everyone's head so hot. Because we only have so much room in there. You don't want to explode. I want to move rough kittenhood over to the left. Just to be sure I have the line. There we go. See, kittenhood stretches so far over here. I'm going to freehand it. About right there. Try to get a rough justification, but it is all. You know, despite all of that moving it over, the H nearly ends in the same spot. I'm really not saving any. I'm really not justifying. I'm really not doing anything, really. Yeah. Fortunately, I have a lot of room, so I'm not up against the edge of the panel. I hate when I've got to squeeze the lettering in because it reminds you that you're being too wordy. Let's make the 5 a little deeper. This is just me guessing, but I think the chief colorist has listened to herself on some of these live stream recordings and doesn't like the sound of her voice, so she has decided to shut up on this one.
That's not very nice.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You know, I'm wrong. You told me.
No, well,
Being quiet.
I told you that I was going to explain homosexuality
I know what you
and
told me,
non-existence in the strip, and you generally step on me whenever I say anything controversial.
I
just
wonder why.
I just wanted to alert you that it wasn't controversial. Just in today's world, such topics are usually a landmine, and I only wanted to explain that the cat boss's sexuality was not only irrelevant, I didn't care, and nothing to do with anything, and why would anyone care? It was a non-issue.
I know, but I'm tired anyway, so it's kind of something.
Yeah.
And I have lost my professional voice, so that bothers me.
Once again, I'm thinking prostitution. That's just me, I guess.
You're thinking what?
When you say a professional,
Oh, professional voice? No.
when you say professional, sorry. we went through this last week.
I said professional voice.
Yeah, I know.
Which is different than.
Yes, I know it is.
Okay. Well, I think you might be the only one who
All right.
thinks prostitutes say that.
Let's finish up Dino's date. I'm just going to do the straight lines in the background. They're in the hallway of Mia's apartment, and you can't see a thing. This will look like magic to you on the live stream, because these lines will appear as if I'm just that good. Yeah, in fact, that's it. There are no lines. I'm just figuring this is where this goes, and that's where that goes. It's just. Don't try this at home, kids. I am a professional. Amazing how those lines just appear out of nowhere. I think the baseboard should go here. And it meets the floor there with a slight perspective. There's a corner. Let's move as far away from there as possible, give that a chance to dry. And this is wainscoting, in case you're wondering. Chair rail. Base. I don't think the chief colorist has colored last week's hallway, so I actually don't know what colors she's going to be. Whether she's going to make this a classy hallway or just something industrial and generic. complete freedom to do whatever she wishes.
I'm sorry, what?
Is she really not paying any attention to me? Well, that's good. Just you and me, audience.
Yes. Just you and the audience talking about me?
No.
I know. Teasing.
The idea of moving the camera closer today was so that you'd be able to see the pencil lines. But you can't even, I can hardly see these pencil lines, so I know the camera cannot pick them up at all. But it's probably cooler this way, because then it looks like I'm drawing all this freehand with a brush. All right. Let's let that dry for a second. We'll do the vertical lines in the first panel and the last panel. And that's all for there. Let's see. This has the suspended grid ceiling. This all goes to a vanishing point somewhere down by the cat boss's crotch. See, when you draw perspective, where the audience's eyeball goes to, or where you're putting the audience, is right there at the vanishing point. And in this case, I'm putting you in the cat boss's crotch. It's these little things that amuse us. All right. We have a doorknob. And a lock. And the kick plate here has those screws holding it on the corner. All right, do that later. Don't want to rest my hand here in case that's not dry yet. I mean, the ink does dry to the touch rather quickly, but I wouldn't even dream of erasing for 24 hours. All right. Oh, forgot the wings. I forgot all of the horizontal lines in this panel. I still don't feel comfortable touching that panel, so I'm going to put down this shield, act as a blotter. peephole on the door. It's important that you put in the little details. Gives the colorist something to do.
She loves having something to do.
I know that's not dry enough. Get this magnet out of the way. But I want to get the panel finished. So let's see. We can place the roller in a spot where it's not going to touch anything. And we're done with that one. Wow. The way that I have the button flying off in the line, it matches up with the baseboard perfectly. So that it looks as if the baseboard is going into his jacket, but it's not. That's just the line of the button flying off of his jacket. Oh, well. I would have actually the original trajectory. You can see pencil in here. That button was supposed to come down here, but I figured I didn't want to block his hand with the button, so I had the button fly off toward the cat boss. And unfortunately, it's right on line with the baseboard, and that doesn't please me. And we know it. Why are we here? To make me happy.
And what makes you happy? Being here.
All right. Where do we go next? Let's bring everyone together. Austere, roll call, sound off. Now, okay, what are we gonna do? Let's do word balloons on these two, and we'll get to work on the characters on this sucker. Oh, are you done? Yeah, this one's all done. Why are you this? But you've been erased. This should go to the colorist. All right, let's do the word balloons on these suckers. Assembly line, folks. Well, if you got the paintbrush wet, you might as well use it, right?
Right.
I follow the same philosophy with my penis. That was just a joke. No, I don't use that thing.
There you go.
I mean, seriously, would I be drawing women like that? Phydeaux, you sicko, you. Okay. You rest up there. Parenthesis. Parenthesis. Flip it so you got a place to rest your hand. And the arrow. Simple. Okay. Now for this busy little one number. But you probably won't see all of that today. Because I think I'm going to have to ring up in an hour and a half here. Cartoonist is going to have to take a 5-minute break. Maybe the chief colorist can entertain the audience while I'm gone. And it won't be 5 minutes. It'll be close to a minute.
Oh, hello, everybody.
A little bit louder so the camera can hear you.
Hello, everybody. I'm not certain what I'm supposed to say to entertain you, but I suppose my wishes, dreams, and desires, well, that's just that people log on to Comicstrip.com and send us your support, and, well, that sounds like money. I don't mean that. Give us support and like the channel. What? If anything we do here is of any worth to you. He's not coaching me, people. No, he's not telling me what to say. From the background there. Seriously though, please check us out on Comicstrip.com, and if you so desire, Patreon.com. We're just, trying to get my husband's talent out there to as many people as possible, and I don't know, make a lot of people laugh, make people enjoy, make people happy, make people have a little amusing giggle in the morning. I shouldn't say giggle, that sounds kind of childish, but
Okay, I'm really sorry about that. I'm
I'm
back.
sorry.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Oh, that was not. And you wonder why I'm not talking. All right, bye.
I'm back. Well, where were we? So, drawing technique, show all little kids. Even though there's a panel here, Evans, you don't have to draw anything to the left of this line, I still drew where Felicia was, just so I can get that foot in the right spot. See, there's her butt. So therefore, her leg came down here and her foot came out here. You hardly see it. Cheap colors, I'll put that pencil there, you'll shake the camera. Cheap colors may not even color it in. But
I might not even color in mud. Sorry.
Felicia's foot down there.
Oh.
Might not even notice it, but I had to draw her butt out of frame just so I'll know where that foot went. And yes, once again, I can't help it, but we're mentioning butts again. At least when we haven't said the other B word yet. And Phydeaux's paw is up here, pushing Felicia away. And now Felicia has a drink. There's her paw holding the drink. And we just see a bit of the bottom of the glass because it's of the plastic cup because it's tipped up. Straw. And this is her paw reaching up to whack at Phydeaux. And like little kids, always fighting. And let's see, on her left, she has 3 whiskers. 1, 2, 3. And on her right, 4 whiskers. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I can count. And she's angry. And let's do the foot that I've been talking about all along. There's the foot. It's plain Jane. Happy to finally be back dating. After all that COVID stuff kept them apart, and lack of actual material by the writer.
Excuse me.
No problem. Lack of actual material from the writer. So she hasn't been in the strip in a long time. But she's sort of meant to be a straight character. She really doesn't have a point of view character line that I can use that often. That's why I don't use her that much. We'll draw her drink straw first before we draw her bosom. Yes, that's the most important part, of course. And the candy box is slightly covering her bosom. Yes, there we go. V-neck. And this is a muscle, shoulder blade muscle. He's wearing a short sleeve shirt. Gesundheit. And candy. A box of candy. The colors gets to decide what kind of candy. And we got her in those black stretch yoga pants that we all love. Not really. They're not skin tight. A little bit of a. I'm guessing these like cotton black sweatpant like things. You want to be comfortable in a movie theater. So she's in her black sweats. Yeah. The relationship has reached that point.
What? I heard relationship, but I thought you were talking about me.
The relationship with Jane and Beau have reached that point where she can wear sweatpants on a date. And I know I'm going to regret this, but there's the tongue. She'll draw out fire engine red, like he's been sucking on cherry Kool-Aid. Another minor point, but for the hell of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hash marks. 6 hash marks. 6 hash marks. Beau is the Antichrist, the side of the devil, 666 in his hair, with 878 on these hairs. No idea why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just the way it always works out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of course. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just the way it's always worked out. Usually Bo has a collared shirt on, but nope, he's just doing a crew neck now. It's important that it's a cartoonist that you know about all these clothing styles. Rolled up sleeves. I'm guessing a cotton blend of indeterminate color. Let the chief colorist can decide. That.
Chief colorist needs your help for a second.
Well, okay. I guess we're going to take another couple of minute breaks here, folks. Talk amongst yourself. I'm back. So where were we? Oh, yes. Hey. Popcorn. That's right. Lip to it. And just the word pop on it. Drink straw. And Bo's got a large piss bucket of sody pop. And you can't quite see it, but that's his hand back there. That's the seat, so we'll just leave that for later. Excuse me. And did not draw Jane's. Get a little bit more black in here. Did not draw Jane's shoes, which have a slight heel to them. So she hasn't completely given up. Heels make your butt look good. What the hell? Let's do that. Because that makes me happy. All right. Now, second panel here, Phydeaux and Felicia are in full fight over who gets the seat next to Jane. Phydeaux likes it because she's belly scratcher. She'll pat him. And Felicia likes it because she wants to take it away from Phydeaux. It's also important to think about the motivations. Phydeaux's paw is like reaching back there. So see, there's the elbow, shoulder. And so he's elbowing her in the face. This is the side that has the 3 whiskers. Neck, shoulder, and the other hand is reaching for purchase somewhere back here. A lot of it disappears behind the straw of Jane's drink. They have very little to do with anything going on in the main action. They're just upstaging because what's happening in the foreground is quite boring. The idea here is to show that they're just bringing a little bit of chaos to the theater, making the theater-going experience a little less pleasant for everyone else who's in there. If that's necessary. Because the theater is already unpleasant enough without their help. Drink spilling. This one's already been spilt on the floor. Ice cubes floating in the drink. There's the cap with the straw. Ice cube. Bingo. All right, let's finish drawing Phydeaux's leg. We've got a toe here. And that's about all we see of him because everything in the foreground blocks it. But all that had been drawn and erased to put this in front of it. She's looking up at the screen, sort of starry-eyed, big happy smile, reminding herself of her childhood and the happy times she went to a theater to enjoy a movie. Those days gone forever. Due to the invention of the DVR that allows you to pause live television. VCR allows you to pause live films. Streaming services which show films that you can pause and go to the bathroom when you need to. I mean, you can't even pause live streaming. You can go to the bathroom when you need to. Because this is live. And I think if I were to put a little cup under the table and use it, it would be seen.
Yeah, let's not even pretend I'm seeing that.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. You got to draw her bosoms. And see, this one goes here with a cup underneath. A slight point. Very important. V-neck. Sorry. Okay, we were saying? You look at the work of any cartoonist, you can very quickly figure out what's important to them, what's in the center of this panel. I'm going to draw the arm of the chair here because I'm coloring in Jane's sweatpants. It's going to be necessary. exposed man spreading. See, with the weight of the drink, he's got one pinky splayed out. This is a big, maybe liter and a half. About 5 pounds of drink. It's probably going to require him to visit the men's room before this 4-hour film that become increasingly longer ends. Did anyone see The Irishman? Martin Scorsese. I grew old watching that film. I loved it. No, don't get me wrong. It was a great film, and it left me wanting more. But 3.5 hours, 4 hours? I grew old watching that film. Just like the characters. But Scorsese, much like Oliver Stone, is now a conspiracy theorist filmmaker. Oliver made JFK, where Mr. Scorsese has decided to tell us exactly what happened to Jimmy Hoffa in The Irishman. If anyone doesn't know who Jimmy Hoffa is, that's what they make Google for. It's not just for porn anymore. Popcorn. Actually, Jimmy Hoffa's before my time. But you have to know a bunch of useless bits of information if you're going to compete in trivia. All right. That panel is done for now. Let's move on to number 3. I got to draw a little Phydeaux. I'm going to keep the brush relatively dry so I can try to get the finer detail of the nose. Yeah, underline it, shadow it. All right. He's like really small in the frame here. Fine lines. Feel another clearing of the throat approaching. There we go. So in typical modern fashion, Felicia won that battle. We have to do, we always have to observe cat empowerment. You understand, after centuries of being put down by the dog, the cat has to get its reparations. Yes, we show proper cat representation here. So in the original drawing, can't really see, but I had his foot up here. Just wanted to show more of the drink glass, I guess. Moved it down. I guess that spread his feet too wide. It just didn't look right. All right, Felicia. nose, cheeks. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3. Good enough. Now she's happy. She won. As if a cat could ever beat a dog. But, you know, that's why we have fictional comic strips. To allow a cat her day. And tail sitting up here looking all so happy and arrogant. Spills ink on my finger. And look, doesn't that look better? Yeah, clean your hand. There we go. All right. Now, Jane's got a slight furrow to her brow because Phydeaux's becoming a nuisance. But she still loves him. Thus, the eyebrows are up like that. It's not like she's angry at him. She's more disappointed. Is this really what's going through your mind when you draw these things, Charles? No.
What are you over there question about?
Nothing, dear. And Bo knows it's useless to be angry. He's just saying, come on, get settled down. We're in public. And yeah, I wouldn't have to say it. She's leaning slightly over toward Bo. And where Bo's right hand is, I have no idea. But they are in public, so it can't be any place. Too bad. Oops, I drew that wrong. We cover up. Let's do the and finally get to see how long her heels are. I'd say, what, 2.5 inches? She wants her butt to look good, but not that good. I'm not going to sacrifice comfort.
Oh, okay.
And while her knees and legs are together like a lady, Bo over here's got his full man spread going. Knee to knee, about wide as he can get in this chair. Yes, you came here to hear me talk about man spreading, not bosoms or butts. I'm happy that the pencil lines at least are visible to the camera. Last week's they really weren't. Even the finished pencil line like this. All right. Take some ink off so I don't smudge his nose too much. Now here's a question. How about we do a little body language here on Phydeaux, and I put his legs together. Because, well, he's got to go to the bathroom, so he's sort of holding it in. Together. And droop it to the tail. Yeah, that might work out better. Rather than the spread, keep his legs together because he's holding things together. And actually, let's suppline that. Sort of gives you more of a he's feeling to himself. Holding it in. Yeah, okay. Body language. Change that the last minute on the fly. And you saw it live. Incredible. Give him a little more sense of urgency. Almost on his toes here. So obviously, Phydeaux and Fleischer represent the fractious children that a lot of people will inevitably take to a movie theater. That just adds to that theater-going experience. They can never keep quiet. ever in their seats. Being in public really blows. Why is that? Because of the public. And I don't know if any of you have noticed, but we've changed sight lines. The horizon's up here. You're looking down at them. So we have the feeling that as the strip goes on, the camera moves. You start out with a horizon line about right here, which is just around popcorn height. Then it stays sort of around the center. And then when Phydeaux's on the ground, we have a lower horizon line about right there. And then in the end, the camera just sort of goes off into the distance and we're up high looking down on them. The camera work trying to tell a little bit of the story as well. It's almost a little bit of cinematography here. About the only one I really did on purpose was the one the lower in the camera angle when Phydeaux was on the ground. I wanted sort of the audience looking up so you can see the theater isn't quite all that full. If I kept the same sight line, you'd be just seeing the same people in the background all the time. Anyone count? 878-666. That was a long stretch of silence. The silence brought to you by the letter S. Sesame Street flashbacks coming. All right, let's put that sucker aside to dry. where do we move next on this assembly line process? Put these up here on the magnets. And oh, okay, let's do the characters on these, on this one. A little ink off the brush. Yeah, good. Feel like you all kind of know how to draw all these characters now. Did I just say y'all?
No.
That's not a word a proper Bostonian should be using.
I know, that's why it threw me off.
I'm getting folksy. But I don't think the mid-Atlantic accent, the mid-Atlantic language has that word y'all.
Probably not.
No, it's not in our dictionary. Facial expressions are always very important. Even though they're oftentimes not read. At least I made the effort at them. Phydeaux's tail is up, meaning he's in an interrogative state. He's asking a question. Why does Phydeaux carry a golf club?
Why does Phydeaux carry a golf club?
Because a baseball bat would be too obvious.
Ah.
Do you know one of the top selling pieces of sporting equipment in Germany is the baseball bat, and they don't play baseball?
Oh my.
I have stated in the past that, when Phydeaux was counterfeiting money in an alley, and he's a real criminal, an outright criminal.
Outright criminal. You should not be glorifying him, but it's really funny.
But really, who's going to fault you for hitting a cat?
You're probably alienating half of your audience.
Has anyone out there heard of the Great Cat Massacre? It's an actual historic event, happened in pre-revolutionary France.
If they haven't, I think we should tell them about it.
You see, right before the French Revolution, there was this print shop. And the way things worked back then, they had apprentices, journeymen, and then the master printer. And with machinery and such, the whole system was kind of becoming less and less fair to the journeyman and the apprentice. The system was kind of breaking down. And, well, you could say that the workers were a little bit upset. Back in that time, cats wandered freely in the streets of Paris. And they were becoming a little bothersome to the owner, so the owner's wife, the owner of the print shop's wife. And when she complained to her husband set his workers, supposedly journeymen and apprentice printers, and Frenchmen at that. So you can understand that these people thought that this request that they go out and get rid of the cats was a bit beneath them. But they were told, kill all the cats in the neighborhood who are into bothering my wife. But don't touch La Gris, the gray cat, which was, of course, his wife's favorite. Well, the Frenchmen, the apprentices, all thought this was quite beneath them, but they made a loud, drunken evening of it. And the first cat they got was La Gris. And they murdered every cat in Paris. And this drunken party overflowed into the rest of polite and unpolite society, and eventually culminated in the storming of the Bastille. Great cat moments in history.
Mhm.
We should subtitle this live stream, the Great Cat Massacre.
Exactly. There you go. Thumbnail this sucker.
Mm-hmm. This is actually a fairly anti-cat week. I mean, Felicia only does well in this one where she gets the seat. You know, it's almost like we had a theme.
You know, you would think.
That
Of course we do.
I came prepared with that cat massacre story, ready to tell. It didn't just come off the top of my head.
You're getting better at this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot to draw Felicia's whiskers. Now, I'm thinking, like, well, okay. Are they straight to the floor or are they drooping and sagging?
I'm sorry, what?
I'm going with drooping and sagging. That's funnier. Okay, 3 on that side and the 4 on this side you really won't see. Except for the 1 that I'll do right there. All right. As it's like you turned out a light. And everything that. So we were unnecessarily rude to cats this week. Will the internet forgive us?
Oh, I don't know.
As you know, cats do run the internet.
Yes, they do. An unforgivable sin.
It's a conspiracy. The homosexuals run Hollywood and the cats run the internet. Everyone knows that. Let's see where Phydeaux's tail was up asking a question. Mid post he's examining his weapon. You don't see it this way because he's turned away from you, but now the tail's down. Bit of a shock. Going into defensive mode. Might go between his legs if he's attacked. So good question.
Yes.
If this is the reincarnated Felicia on her fifth life, why does she still only have 3 whiskers on this side?
Something you just can't come back from.
You coloring over there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I heard the paper move.
Mm-hmm. Some coloring.
Which one you working on?
I'll go out with you on 3 conditions.
Oh. Actually, that one probably wasn't seen last week.
It may not have been,
Yeah.
so that's why I didn't give
Yeah.
away the
Yeah, it's
punchline.
it's part of the Dino date series.
Mhm.
I think the live stream last week just had the cat boss stepping in and including himself into the situation. All right, those characters are done. Surprisingly, my left arm, I'm right-handed, my left arm hurts. My right's fine. Go figure.
Must be all that pumping of the ion.
No, it's not boy. I think I was leaning on this chair arm a little bit too much to get over here. I usually don't work on this side of the board. I'm usually on the center of it, but I got to stay underneath part of the Comicstrip.
Not your arm.
Yeah, elbow, left elbow. I'm sure everyone is really concerned about.
Your wife is concerned when you have pain. And since I happen to be her, that's why I'm asking.
Well, we've reached the 2-hour, 20-minute limit.
I did not know that there was a limit.
Well, it's not a limit.
I didn't think so.
Come on. Everybody, smoke them if you got them. Remember, it's never too young to take up the habit.
Do not promote that, silly boy.
Well, let's see what's next. Those two are all right. Yeah, that one just needs a ratio. And we have these 3, which have not even been given dates to yet. And since they're not in any storyline, they can fit anywhere. Let's check our calendar. And what we're looking at is we need something for Thursday and Friday. Friday is going to be in a bar. So, okay, we'll do these. Which one looks like a Saturday? I think that looks like a Saturday. Okay, so we'll call this Thursday 8/25/22. Reason why I use the number rather than writing the date out is because that's how I save it on the computer. And if I'm not smart enough to actually write the letter, the number 8, I'll go January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Oh, that's 8. No? This way it saves just a little bit of brain cell tissue. Just a little. And this is, cross it out. This is us 8/27/22. Saturday. And cross that off the calendar. I got to come up with a bar joke, which I'll probably do tonight. find it. See how much fun it is, kids? And don't let the man tell you it's bad for you. When have they ever been right about anything?
Stop it.
I mean, in my lifetime alone, they've said that butter is good for you, butter is bad for you, butter is good for you, butter is bad for you.
Aren't you getting thirsty over there?
Why is that?
Couldn't you use a soda break?
Why, I have one right here.
Oh, do you have a soda?
Yes, it's the last of it. And I haven't been to the supermarket in a couple of days, and we are running out of supplies.
Oh, no.
So let's do the, as promised, in the background here, we'll do all the curvy stuff. Let it dry, come back and do the straight line stuff. Just enjoy another few golden moments of absolute relaxation brought to you by the growers of tobacco. Fine American industry since 1723. All right, back to work. So if anyone remembers the Phydeaux history, this is the housewarming gift plant, rubber tree plant, given to the boys by Mrs. Abraham after the fire. Early in the strip, Phydeaux and Dino, during one of their fights, instigated by Beau. Beau had decided that one of them was going to go, and he ordered that they backstab each other, and to a point where one of them would be asked to leave. And they said, "Well, you actually want us to fight?" And he says, "Well, I knew you were going to fight anyway." But anyway, Dino and Phydeaux get into a fight and set the apartment on fire. And it's remodeled to what you currently see today: new couch, triple baseboard, a few other minor differences from the early strip. But the rubber tree plant right here was given as a housewarming gift by Mrs. Abraham, the landlord. And it's been in that corner ever since. Fascinating history of Phydeaux. This is one of the few bits of non-cat history that we're going to be revealing today. I mean, we've learned about cat whiskers. We learned about cat lives.
And the cat massacre.
Yeah, and the Great Cat Massacre, a truly historic moment. So the cats have been pivotal throughout the history of mankind. A little bit of smoker's cough there. Just think, you too can cough like a man. Let's see, curve, all straight line. Let's do the, this is the cable hookup. cable in. This is video out, which wraps around to the cable box, which you don't see in front of the TV. And this is the power line. I actually thought this stuff out. They also have a video game machine, but I've never shown it plugged in. So see, that's something you can hit me on. Where's the video machine plug, huh?
Continuity.
Yep. This comic strip's not realistic. I'm not showing the plug for the video game.
It's wireless.
But they always plug it into the television.
Wireless.
All right. Well, these lines are nearly invisible to the camera. Rule of time. These are the blinds, and they're so insignificant I can almost freehand them. But oh well. A lot of the stuff just can be freehanded. I like to draw a thicker line under the windowsill. It's a shadow line, because the windowsill projects beyond the apron here. Gee, Charles, how do you know all of these terms? I used to be a carpenter. I framed windows and did the trim on them. I wasn't always as worthless as I am today. I actually had a real job at one point in my life. Well, I don't consider this a job. This is what I'd be doing if I won $1 million, $1 billion in the lottery. So I just saved myself the effort, not winning the lottery, and decided to do this anyway. Very seldom do I actually draw these blinds not fucked up, screwed up. They're actually going straight. had an opportunity there to, yeah, I'm going to do it. You can only abuse a blind so long before they crack open like that. Oh yes, I did make one little flaw in the blind right there. Anyone notice that? No.
It will now.
But I did. And why did I do it?
Because it makes you happy.
You that. Thank you. Once again, children, why are we here?
To make you happy.
This is so cool. I feel bad for everyone out there in the audience who can't do, who are not doing this right now themselves. Get to do all manner of nasty things to cats. Tell about the history of cat massacres.
Fun, fun, fun.
So contrary to what they're telling you in school, it wasn't that Marie Antoinette said, let them eat cake. It was because a print master's wife told them, don't kill La Gris. Oh, that cat, she's dead. Oh, I almost had a French accent there.
Yeah, don't try.
Yeah, don't do voices. I'm not good
Don't
at
do
it.
accents.
I'm not a voice man. I can barely speak my own language. I can barely do an impression of myself. Get some picnic baskets.
I think you did that one.
I've done Yogi Bear before. My voice sounds slightly like the guy who did Barney and Rubble. Yogi. For some reason, I'm thinking of thankless jobs that I would not wish upon my worst enemy.
I wouldn't go down there. You never know.
Well, and I was thinking president of Disney.
Oh, yeah.
There's literally nothing a CEO of Disney can do right now to pull them out of the hole they have dug for themselves. It is unfixable. They have literally, well, I cannot tell you the depths to which the damage has been done and of the level of irreparability it has achieved in such a short time. I do not envy Mr. Chapek. He should take an early payout.
Get out of Dodge.
Hey, yep, run. Like Iger did. Iger saw the writing on the wall. In fact, Iger wrote a lot of it. I think I saw it early on when they bought the Muppets and did nothing with them. But then you,
that's not a good
but then you're going to say Jim Henson died. He was the Muppets. You know, what could you do? And then they decided, oh, we're going to do an adult Muppet show. Kermit and Miss Piggy having broken up.
There's a mortgage. No, just I don't know.
But the charm was lost.
Mhm.
So when we heard they were going to buy Star Wars, even the people at South Park did a little episode on it, and they were slightly hopeful, but we all sort of saw what they've done in the past with properties they've purchased. And we had the feeling that things were going to go as they did. I was hopeful. And people were praising Rogue One. Movie I really didn't care for very much. And half of the stuff in the Rogue One preview did not even show up in the actual film. What are they writing it in the? Well, Star Wars has a history of being written in the editing room, I suppose. As Lucas did it with the first one, Episode 4. Well, actually, Lucas's wife at the time did the editing. She saved it. But poor George had been so abused by his audience, he just wanted out. Being a typical passive-aggressive man that he is, so everyone remember the flagpole story at Lucas at Skywalker Ranch. He sold it off to whoever had enough money to buy it, and laughed all the way to the bank. What would you do to fix Disney? I'd get rid of the streaming service. They are a company that produces entertainment. They are not a company that runs a network. Now, that might sound counterintuitive, but networks sell advertising. Networks make money. Entertainment makes you laugh, tells a story. They're not doing what they should be doing. Get rid of Disney Plus and license all of these wonderful products you have to everyone else who has a network and knows how to make money with it. And that way, you'll make money with those things finally. Burn down Disney Plus. Parks need work. You let the maintenance go too long, especially in California. That is a cash cow you are gonna miss, because now you have real competition in Universal Studios. They put out a far superior product. You might want to just keep the parks as a nostalgia thing and don't rely on it.
It's a good question. If you were going down to Florida now, where would you go?
Universal.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Disney's become too expensive, and it's not worth it. I've been there. I'm done. Been there, done that, seen that.
I'd like to see, because I'm super geeky or whatever, but I'd like to see the Hogwarts thing.
Yeah.
Universal, so.
That's Universal.
Yeah. So I choose Universal too.
And then Disney says, well, okay, we'll update Splash Mountain and do all this other stuff so that people will now have a reason to come to the parks again. Well, here's the problem. Your parks have become a museum. And you touch anything, people will give you a hard time about it. So you might as well embrace the museum.
Mm-hmm. I'd argue some people go for Splash Mountain, so like.
People remember the Song of the South.
Right. Well, no, not that. But
I mean, that guy won an Oscar for
that.
singing Zippity Doo Dah and wasn't allowed into the theater to accept it.
I know, that's true.
We just erase it from history. Sorry, I don't remember his name at the moment, but everyone knows who I'm talking about. And yes, Splash Mountain was based on the Uncle Remus stories. Brer Rabbit, Briar Patch. How did our wonderful little diatribe about cats turn on Disney?
I don't know. You took a left turn.
Everything eventually becomes Disney.
I know.
Are there any cats in Disney? Not really. The aristocrats.
Yeah, aristocrats.
Not really.
Arguably.
It's the aristocrats. The aristocrats
I know.
is a dirty joke.
Dirty joke, I know. Oh my gosh. Arguably the Lion King.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. Do they own the actual musical cats?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
And isn't there like not Lilo and Stitch, but there's one that's like Milo. There's a few cats, I think.
Well, there was a live action movie with two dogs and a cat. I think is that what you're talking about?
No. Oh, maybe. No, there was. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Like Homeward Bound or something like that.
Yeah.
Lost in the Wilderness.
One of those. Okay.
Disney owns Pixar now, don't they? Another property they've just. Never mind. I wanted to get off this topic.
Would you do me a favor and sharpen my pencil?
Sure. Hold on.
I know you're eating, but
Yeah, no, that's okay.
I get my sharpener to work.
Hey, yo.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, we lost Pixar to Disney too. Before the dark times, before Disney. We actually went to Disney World on our honeymoon.
Yes, we did.
And if we were to go to Florida again, we probably wouldn't go.
Probably not.
I mean, I have no desire to see the Star Wars stuff they've done over at the park. Doesn't interest me. That's how much damage The Last Jedi and Ryan Johnson did. And Kathleen Kennedy. Any surprise that Obi-Wan Kenobi went so bad? Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge. Now they made Obi-Wan gay. Who cares? I mean, you don't want to know what I do in my bedroom. I don't want to know what he does in his bedroom. It's none of my effing business.
Hey, stop swearing.
I said effing.
Oh, I thought you actually said the word.
Yeah, I know. We're so accustomed
I
to.
know. I really thought I really
I know exactly it's almost like the Mandela effect.
Right?
And it never happened, but you would swear on your grave that I said the whole word. Yeah, the Mandela effect. The Nelson effing Mandela effect. It's popular known as that.
I knew you said effing.
Yeah, it's popularly known as the Nelson effing Mandela effect.
Now, what is the Mandela effect?
And look it up. That's why you got Google.
Oh, okay.
It's not just for porn anymore.
You explained the cat massacre, so I thought you might explain the Mandela effect. But okay.
Nelson Mandela didn't die in prison. Okay.
Well, that's not the whole thing, though. The thing is that people believe Nelson Mandela had died long before he did die. And there's other things, too, that have become a common culture, a common thought. That never happened.
What, like the beaver didn't die in Vietnam?
The who didn't die?
Beaver.
Oh, no, that's not really. That was just kind of a silly.
Okay.
But there's been a few of them, and of course I can't think of one of them now, except for the Mandela. But
They on the original Saturday Night Live, they did a bit where they actually brought on Phydeaux and Tony Mathis, and to address the story of him dying in Vietnam, and they turned it into a Leave It to Beaver bit. Don't you think it was rather crummy to do that? Gee, Wally, I'm sorry. It's like,
do you think the brother just died?
yeah, Tony. That's why it's on my mind. Tony Dow? Yeah, Tony Dow. Yeah.
He was
Wally.
He was like early 70s, I think.
Wally from Leave It to Beaver.
Wait a minute, what was Beaver's name? First name?
Jerry Mathis.
No, his
Oh, Theodore.
Theodore. Okay.
They called him Beaver. I think I might have seen the show a couple of times. Either that or I just have all this information for trivial purposes.
It's in the
Zeitgeist?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Not probably anymore. There's probably
Definitely not
a few
anymore.
people listening who have no idea who we're talking about, but at least for our age. The Gen Xers, as if you will.
But once again, I made my bones doing trivia, and I have to know Jerry Mathers and Hugh Dow was the father, and Barbara Billingsley was the mother. Useless bits of information that you'll probably never use, but you got them in your arsenal. Pull out in a moment to impress the ladies.
Woohoo.
You're getting all wet over
Plus,
there.
of course, your knowledge of the use of beaver that
Yeah, it's got you.
got me over.
You're getting wet over there, aren't you?
What's it come up?
Nothing.
Don't say that. Oh, I just realized what you said. Don't. Ugh.
So yeah, I have no idea what's going on right there with his arm. Maybe the colorist will figure it out. Let's get. And is this one? No, almost done. Got to do the cable plugs. Stand. Unused inputs. All right, let's see. All that done. Add that to the pile, go into the two colors after I do the erasures, which won't be done another 24 hours. We're going to finish another one. Or did we finish another one? I didn't even notice it when I did it. I'm going to do a chair leg over here. I have a mess back there. The colorist will have to figure out. And there's another one. Done. Done to the colorist. Again, so much work done today. I might clear my desktop in 3 hours.
3 hours.
We're coming up on 3 hours. I think we'll make it. We'll make this 3 hours straight and cut there, regardless of progress.
You want to leave people wanting more.
No. Actually, I'm going to stop anyway. Because I think I need more work on these background characters. And I might not do them in brush. I might cheat and do them in rapidograph marker because they're very small and uniform with their detail. You want them to disappear into the background. I haven't made that decision yet. And remember, kids, you too can be cool like cartoonists. Talking to amateur cartoonist and professional smoker, Charles Kersey, on the set of Phydeaux the Comicstrip. Please visit PhydeauxTheComicstrip.com for all of your Phydeaux needs, but even better, just go to YouTube. Hit like and subscribe and little bell icon and go to the playlists and watch all 1,700 of these things, and each one hit like as they play. Most of them are not more than a couple minutes long. I mean, they can almost be on what's that? It's Snapchat. What's that one that goes like only 2 minutes?
Well,
2 minutes.
Snapchat.
Yeah,
There's a few of
they
them.
can almost be that. It's almost like they're tailor made for that platform, but that would require me to do some editing. So Phydeaux is actually currently
Again,
does not
Jen
appear.
Exer.
Phydeaux currently does not appear on those platforms. Unless I get myself an editor. Gee, that'd be a great thing for the chief colorist to learn how to do.
Yeah.
And maybe I can, while I have her coloring and doing the website and everything else, I can shove a broom up her ass and have her sweep the, Swiffer.
Hey.
Have her Swiffer the
No.
floor while she's at it.
No,
Give her more
stop
work.
that. Don't talk like that. That's not right. Not about the sweeping the floor, but don't be crude.
Well, I'm putting too much work on you. Telling you,
Don't be crude.
I'm asking you to do too much stuff. I ask you to do just about everything I don't want to do, and you cheerfully do it
All while trying to make pennies
without
doing
complaining.
surveys.
You do it without complaining. That's the sign of true love. She makes me think she actually enjoys doing it.
I do.
She's a keeper, folks.
I am.
Well, this concludes our broadcast. I'll see you.
It's been 3 hours.
It's 2 hours and 59 minutes and 4
Oh.
seconds. I will see you next Sunday at 12 noon sharp. I'm on time. Why can't you be? Remember, all this is done for you. Why? To make me
you
happy. And 30